Today, I'm giving you the actual economic framework to stack your skills into a career that is uncopyable, profitable, and, most importantly, impossible to get bored with. This is the Polymath Career Strategy. For decades, the economy rewarded the I-shaped person, someone who drilled straight down into one skill, one lane, one identity. Accountant, engineer, developer. You picked your box, you stayed in it, and the system paid you for it. And honestly, it worked until it didn't. Because right now, AI is doing something terrifying to that model. It is eating the I-shaped worker alive. Not the creative ones, not the ones who connect dots, the ones who do one reproducible thing really well over and over again. Those are exactly the jobs that a language model can replace by Thursday. The narrower your lane, the easier you are to automate. So if you've spent your whole life being told your curiosity is a weakness, I need you to hear this. You were not the problem. The map was wrong. Now, some of you watched my earlier video on the T-shaped and M-shaped career, where we talked about having one deep skill and broad surface knowledge. That was the evolution. But today, we're going further, because T-shaped is still not enough. We're building something the market has never seen before. And it starts with a rule that sounds almost too simple to be true. You do not need to be in the top 1% at one thing. You need to be in the top 10% at 3 unrelated things. That's it. That's the unlock. Think about it. Top 1% in anything is brutal. It takes a decade, it takes obsession, and even then, one algorithm update can make it irrelevant overnight. But top 10%, that's 18 months of serious focus. You can do that. And when you stack 3 of those together, you don't have a job anymore. You have a category, and categories don't have competition. Look at Da Vinci. Painter, anatomist, engineer, architect. People called him scattered. History called him a genius. Or take someone modern. Think about how someone with a background in comedy, combat sports, and long-form conversation invented an entirely new format that didn't exist before. He didn't fit a box, so he built his own. That is intersectionality as a career strategy. That is what we're talking about. So here's your first action step, and I want you to actually pause and think about this. What are your core 3? Not the skills you think sound impressive, the ones you keep coming back to, the ones people ask you about at dinner parties. Write them down. We're going to figure out if they have market synergy, meaning, is there a real human problem that sits at the intersection of all 3? Because if there is, you're not multi-passionate, you're irreplaceable. But knowing your 3 skills isn't enough. You also need to know how to deploy them. And this is where most people get it wrong. Here's the model I want you to use. Think of your career like a solar system. You have one anchor. That's your high income, high stability skill, the one that pays the bills right now. Maybe it's UX design or sales or data analysis. You protect that skill, you keep it sharp, but then you have satellites, 2 or 3 things you're actively playing with. Maybe it's video editing, maybe it's public speaking, maybe it's knowing everything about behavioral psychology. And here's the part that changes everything. Every 2 to 3 years, you rotate. A satellite becomes the new anchor. You pivot deliberately before burnout forces you to pivot desperately. This isn't career chaos. This is career engineering. You are never stuck. You are never starting over. You are always building forward. Now, and this is the part nobody talks about. You have to learn how to say this out loud without sounding unfocused. Because here's the truth. A weird winding background looks like a red flag until you frame it correctly. The second you can walk into a room and say, I'm the person who sits at the intersection of X, Y, and Z, and that specific combination is why I can solve this problem that nobody else in this room can, you stop being a generalist. You become a personal monopoly. Your career isn't found, it's invented, and the people who invent their career, they cannot be compared to anyone else, which means they cannot be commoditized, underpaid, or replaced. So let me bring this home. If you've spent years apologizing for being interested in too many things, stop. The market is catching up to what you already are. Curiosity across domains is not a personality flaw, it is a competitive moat. The world is complicated now. The problems worth solving don't live inside one discipline. They live in the messy, uncomfortable, beautiful overlap between multiple ways of thinking. That is where you live, and that is exactly where you need to be. Now here's what I want from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what are the 2 skills you've always been told don't go together? Tell me both of them, because I genuinely believe that intersection is where your career is hiding, and I want to help you find it. And if you want the full breakdown of how to actually build this, the tools, the timeline, the exact steps, that's what we're going into next. Don't go anywhere.